What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to talk about Thundelyn and my overall first impressions from actually using it, and talent page that I'm going to suggest using to give you the best technically chances on what pairings depending on what you're going to be using her with, right? Because Thundelyn honestly is a really interesting mage hero, because obviously, as you guys know, if you have Thundelyn with your Thalia, the brand new goat, right, they're going to work together, match made in heaven. However, a lot of the lower spenders and obviously medium spenders may not have been lucky enough to get that Thalia in the Wheel of Destiny, or they might not be able to get it through the strongest lord. So you might be just stuck with Thundelyn like I am. You've just got the one hero and you're wondering what to do with her. And the thing is, I've been using her so far as a 511 hero, and the best heroes I have had as results so far, honestly, when it comes to using this hero, is going to be Lilia. Number one, numero uno, absolutely really good hero. Number two is actually Valen, surprisingly. Valen does an okay job with her, just because, again, you're able to get that skill crit bonus and the damage dealt bonus here all together, and you're also adding magic defense reduction, so your overall output is really, really good. And having Horror Frost, obviously match speed reduction, make sure obviously your orb does the most amount of damage possible. So it's not a bad combo at all with Valen. But another one which really has caught me off guard is Wildeer. Honestly, Wildeer. And I can imagine if you have a 5-5-1, at least Thundelyn, or even just a 5-5-1-1 Thundelyn with a Wildeer, you're going to be really, really impressed with the different kind of builds that I'm going to offer you in today's video. Because I'm going to give you 3 talent trees. 2 of them are really similar, but they offer you 2 different scenarios depending on what you want to run in your main comp. And then a third one, which is kind of an honorable mention that a lot of people have been, I believe, looking at as a alternate option. But when it comes to other heroes, I haven't honestly tried any other main heroes. I've not gone with an Alwyn. It's not been that kind of appetizing. Same with the Atheist, not been that appetizing. However, I might try this out because it does have some good single target damage, really good on the extra rage, so you actually keep uptime on that AoE, and you are providing healing too, technically triggering that Thundelyn's skill more often, so you are gaining, you know, some nice vigor bonuses, and you're just healing yourself even more, right? So not bad at all as a little kind of combination there, just to kind of throw that out there. When it comes to what artifacts you might want to run when it comes to this, and I will kind of put them on screen now, it's gonna be honestly for free-to-play low spenders, Tear of Arbonne. Tear of Arbonne is absolutely cracked on this hero. You're just super, super defensive already, and you can keep healing, triggering obviously your own skills more often, and just kind of keeping the sustain up, which is really good. If you want a more offensive option, if you are running a Thundelyn with a Lilia, I would recommend, obviously, your Scorching Earth. That massive Scorching Infernal Flame is a massive artifact doing some great single target DPS, but obviously with the Keen trigger, you're actually increasing your overall attack because of the Lilia being in your march, right? There is a bunch of other ones you could be running. Obviously, if you want to go more supportive, Breath of Gigantis, big honorable mention, and obviously the brand new Thunder Elegy when it comes out. So those are the artifacts that I would suggest when it comes to it. When it comes to Warpets now, I will suggest going either the Seraphic, or the brand new one, right? The Seraphic Phaedric, really good, obviously really good AoE and healing to you and nearby allies. But if you want to go more of a offense route, you can go still again with the Sapphire Phaedric if you're running more of a Thundelyn with either Valen or Wildeer or even your Lilia, because it all triggers off them. So really good kind of little combination there. It will be a little bit slower on the stacks, just to give you guys a little heads up, but that is kind of the options you have to yourself. So with that, let's go into now the main thing, the talent pages, because these are going to be some major things that I'm going to kind of discuss about, because the one thing that will be the major kind of question is energy boost. And I did try energy boost out. I'm going to be honest, I have tried this skill out on my main actual Thundelyn build, and it hasn't triggered at all. I'm going to be honest, I have not looked at a single report. And I'm going to put kind of a little pop-up here now so you can see a current report where I've looked through and there's no triggers on energy boost. It's that little to try and trigger an additional target, it seems. And it's crazy. And even when you look at gameplay, you hardly see this getting triggered. So maybe in the future, maybe if there's a dev watching, energy boost might get buffed. So maybe it's like, instead of a, 8%, maybe it's like a 15%. So you've got more chances of seeing it. Maybe then Lilia and Thunderlyns might have more options going for this, and it might be more interesting and fun to have that double or triple ball bombs, that's going off, right? But for now, energy boost just doesn't make the cut. I'm going to be honest, right? So with that, there's 2 trees I'm going to offer, right? This is basically the same concept on both trees, where you are going to be running the same kind of front line. But depending on how you are as a player, you're going to kind of swap a couple of these around. So again, this is all up to your discussion, right? If you are trying to be just a consistent infantry tank buster, you heard right. So if you're just trying to be the guy that's in the back trying to kill infantry, this is the tree I would run on Thundelyn. Why? You have magic maelstrom to have the magic defense penetration with whoever you pair with this hero, which is really good. You have egoism as well as wither, which is the major one, which combos off, so you have another 5% magic defense reduction. But obviously now this is where the actual combo comes in line. 5% in extra damage to infantry, and chant. Chant is something you might not think is going to be really good. However, you're not going to be taking skill damage bonus from enemies that you're trying to kill, which are mainly infantry. I'm going to be honest, if you're trying to be a main infantry killer and only target infantry to get the maximum unit benefits, right, and help your team and get through, chant is actually an incredible combo that you can have in your build. With this, I actually go down Cry Havoc. This means, again, the most flexibility when it comes to this hero. Only 7% people have picked this, but this allows me to pair Thunderlyn with anyone, and that's kind of the way I've gone. I've used to use Elemental Boost. This is a really good one to keep you really tanky, but I have switched to Ecoclasm. You gain so much damage out of this. This is a no-brainer and will increase your merit gain on there. Now, let's talk about some different changes that you can do with the current talent page. If you want a more aggressive page, but you want to run Lilia, so listen to me now. If you're in the comment section, this is all for you. If you want to run Lilia with your Thunderlyn with this tree, all I would do is remove chant. You don't need 5 out of 5 on chant. However, because you are running Lilia, you can run 5 out of 5 on insult to injury. And that is terrifying. The fact that now your Lilia, and technically I do believe maybe the ball could be triggered as a continuous damage effect. I don't think it is personally. I'd have to really look into it. But because of the Lilia though alone, her Scorch is going to be dealing 5% extra damage, and the spread of it is doing 5% more. So you are going to have this on if you're running Lilia instead of the chant. So this is kind of the more offensive tree that you can be running. That's more of an infantry tank buster, as you can see there, right? Now I've got another tree, very, very similar to this tree, but it's a little bit different and it's more defensive for a purpose. And then you can see how it's pretty much the same, apart from we've ran Orb of Protection and we've run Shelter of Compassion. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, why the hell am I running those? But this is the build I actually run when I run 5111 with a level 50 Thunderlyn and my Wild Deer. And the thing is, with this build, it means obviously your Wild Deer's little shield here, 600, having obviously an extra 5% on that is nice when you add it all together. Plus the fact that your Thunderlyn now, you got to remember, does increase the shield too. So you got to remember now, you're having this shield grant bonus plus an extra bit from your talent page. And on top of that, with your talent page being the defensive one here, you do generate a 200 shield yourself. So you can, for one turn, shield around 200, 250 damage, maybe 220 or something damage for yourself, which will be maybe like an attack or half an attack, which is nice. And then it goes into their Wild Deer, which shields even more. And you can imagine this maybe working more in line with a Fear I personally not tested a fear because my fear isn't awakened, as you'll notice. She is only 5. She's almost there though. She's 5-3-3-5, so she's getting almost fully awakened. So she isn't fully optimal for me, so I haven't purposely tried that out. But you can imagine how it would technically work with that hero too, right? So those are the two main builds that I wanted to showcase first off. Now, I'm going to showcase one more build, and this is a honorable mention to a different complete setup that you can be running for Thundelyn. So the final one is a control build, if you've not guessed it, and you can do quite a lot of stuff in the actual control tree. And to be honest, you can avoid the complete magic tree. However, I do think that is kind of a bad experience, and I'll explain why in a moment. But the reason why the control tree is actually really good on this hero is the fact that there's so much good synergy in the back end. The fact that you're able to use Sage, which is giving you even more hero skill damage whenever you inflict a debuff, which you do so easily because you inflict 2 on your skill. You have Ambush, which is when you're launching normal attacks, you have a chance to defense break them, which is really good. You'd be surprised on how much uptime that has, because that means anytime before you even go for it, before even a magic maelstrom proc, you can go and just hit them hard, right? Which is very interesting for a variety of reasons, depending on what people are running in their, match lineups. On top of this, you do have Retician. Retician obviously stops people from casting their rage skills for 2 seconds. Super powerful. Making sure, obviously, those Gresh Skullgirls and whoever you are fighting, obviously, can't trigger their skills. Obviously, really, really good. And again, there's a bunch of different stuff you could be taking on this hero, especially like Lucky Stars. I've seen this whenever it grants healing, whenever you inflict a debuff. 150 healing factor plus her skill 2 at level 5 is actually a nice amount of healing for such a minimal investment. Again, that you could have taken in this tree instead of going over into the magic tree. You'll notice so far I have completely avoided the PvP tree, and this is on purpose, because the thing is, when I look at things, I'm going to be honest, 2.5% magic HP compared to 2%. Here I'm getting Foresight, which is when you cast your skill, there's a 25% chance to instantly gain 75 range, which is amazing, because obviously we already have held high, which is just generating rage per turn potentially if we have it. So we do have already a really good rage combination on there, and you already have held high up here, and you don't need to double take it. It's just really bad waste. And again, if you look at this, there's a 4% over at the intimidation. The PvP one does outbeat us here with a 5%, with a 1 extra percent, but we do get Magic Maelstrom, and that gives us again another out just in case we don't hit the ambush trigger to defense break our opponents and hit them even harder, which all synergizes with our main backstabber, which is what obviously everyone has. It increases your damage output by 2% for 5 seconds whenever you inflict a debuff. So you want this up almost all the time so you can keep doing as much damage as you want. But those are my two main builds that we've gone over, plus obviously now this extra control tree that you could be running on your Thundelyn. It is up to you if you want to run Thundelyn primary or Thalia primary. Obviously it's up to you. I do believe Thalia primary is the better choice. However, if you don't have access to her and you're looking at a Thundelyn talent tree, so you can run her with any of the other mage heroes because you don't have access to the GOAT like me, there you go. And now you have a little bit of info on that. And that's been me, Thundelyn, talked about. And is energy boost actually worth it at the end of the video? No, guys, it just isn't. It really isn't. You're going to go down the magic tree. I would recommend going down the magic maelstrom and going down even the elemental boost if you really wanted to for the HP differential. Otherwise, if you're just going for straight damage, go for the 2 trees I've already kind of showcased, which is my main attack tree and obviously the control tree. Both of those 2 are really, really good. So with that, smash a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys have enjoyed today's video. And with that said, stay safe, guys. Stay sneaky. Peace out.